Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the SCSRA Morris Customs Truck Series here on Intensity Broadcasting. We're live here on iRacing, getting ready for 110 laps here around Nashville Superspeedway. Let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. How about this, Blaze Richardson up in the points lead. Cody Moore in second. Then we see Jeffrey Belk back in third. Jay Stinson and Eddie Morris, your top five. Let's take a look at see where your favorite driver is tonight. I'm trying to get our driver's cams all set up on my end. About 3 minutes left here in practice, and Matt Allen, currently the fastest driver out on the racetrack. I do apologize, I'm gonna have to, the record's rewind up for just a second. I gotta refix my volumes. Looks like my volumes are a little too loud. That should be better for you guys here tonight. See Brett Merle in the 11, currently second fastest on the speed charts. How about this? We got the 84 of Dave Wright. Dave Wright carrying one of our driver cams here tonight. We'll get that. There you go, Dave Wright carrying one of our driver cams tonight in that 84 machine. So far, he's the only driver to be carrying a driver cam. We'll keep an eye on him all race long. Ryan Canuti currently sits in the 9th position on the speed charts in that bright orange number 40 machine. So far, 27 trucks getting ready to take the green flag here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway. Just got done with a 110 lapper at Martinsville, now getting ready to do 110 laps here in Nashville Superspeedway, which isn't really much of a super speedway, 1 mile track in length. Back in 8th on the speed charts, the 68 of Devin Butchino. As he tries to rebound from a bad week at Daytona. 47 of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, calling himself the dark horse and showing some speed lately. Currently 16th in the speed chart as he goes flying through the grass here. His practice comes to a conclusion. And we get ready to get qualifying underway. So 10 minutes of qualifying. Who's going to be the first driver to make their way out onto the racetrack? See the two of Gannon Cyphers out on track first. And Braxton Zog, one of the first drivers to take the green flag. Nashville Superspeedway, kind of a tricky track. It is a concrete surface, not a lot of banking. It's a track that I've struggled with personally here on the service, and it's difficult to see this track, just how slick it can be, but at the same time, it can be incredibly tight as Gannon Cyphers jumps up to the pole on his first lap. Now Dave Hartney jumps up to the pole, putting that 43 in the top spot currently. Off of turn number 4. So consistency for the 43 machine currently. Here's Rick Ward in the 34 coming down the backstretch into turn number 3. Coming to take the checkered flag on his qualifying attempt. And Ward is going to move up into the 5th spot. Ryan Gomes coming to take the white flag on his first of 2 laps. As Gomes comes down the backstretch into turn number 3. Down to the stripe in that 55 machine. Is going to move currently into the 7th position. Seem like, oh, Cheeseburger having some issues there off of turn number 4. Goes down through and to the stripe. And Stinson's first lap is going to move him up into the 13th position. See if he's able to improve on his second lap. Trying to get that truck right down to that yellow line. Runs about a lane up. Down to turns 3 and 4. Right down on the yellow line through turns 3 and 4. Lets it wash up the track a little bit. Oh, catches the wall though. That's going to stop his qualifying lap as he comes across the stripe. And Dave Wright now out on track. Again, Dave Wright carrying one of our driver cams here tonight. Holding it high here through turns 1 and 2. Rally Twaldo says on the chat, let's go 57. As Dave Wright makes his way down into turns 3 and 4. Right, currently 22nd on his first of 2 laps. He's able to do here on his second lap. Holds it right down to the bottom through turns 3 and 4. Cut that apron as much as he can, trying to get down to the stripe. And Dave Wright is going to put it up into the 5th position. Ryan Boyd coming down across the stripe. Hickox goes up to 4th. Boyd goes up to 10th. Now Eddie Morris making his way out onto the racetrack. About 3.5 minutes left. First lap, Eddie Morris is going to move up into the 11th position, so he's able to improve here on his second lap. Two other drivers left to qualify. That is actually three. Brian Canuti, Devin Butchino, and Cody Moore all left to qualify as Eddie Morris jumps up to 6th in his qualifying lap. Maria Manson says, hey, Merle boys, get it done. As with 2.5 minutes left, still have Brian Canuti and Cody Moore sitting on pit road, as well as Devin Butchino getting ready to, as Cody Moore now makes his way out onto the racetrack. Down to the stripe. And Cody Moore takes the green flag on his first of 2 laps. Brian Canuti now also out onto the racetrack, along with Devin Butchino. Cody Moore off of turn number 4. Cross for the white flag. Jumps up into the 3rd position on his first lap. Brian Canuti jumps up to 13th. Devin Butchino just took the green flag. Cody Moore down into turns 3 and 4. And across the stripe, and Cody Moore is going to go into, he's going to stay right there with a 30 flat. Brian Canuti just jumped up to the pole on his second lap. Devin Butchino just jumped up in the 6th with 30 seconds left here in qualifying. What can Butchino do here on his final lap? Down to the stripe. And Devin Butchino is not able to improve his starting position, so he's going to start currently in the 6th position. So let's take a look at our starting grid with Brian Canuti getting the pole here tonight. Brett Merle starting from P2 to his outside. Matthew Fritz will roll off from the 3rd position with Cody Moore back in 4th. Then David Hartney and Devin Butchino back in row number 3. Joey Hickox back in 7th with Jeffrey Belk rolling off from the 8th position. Eddie Morris and Dave Wright will be your top 10. Gannon Cyphers will roll off 11th with Joseph Wright back in the 12th position. 13th will be, hit the wrong button there. 13th will be Rick Tillman. With 14th, Brian Boyd. Rick Ward roll off from the 15th position with Ryan Gomes back in 16th. Then Ricky Gomes and Michael Dunn back in row number 9, followed by Matthew Scott in your points leader, Blaze Richardson. Brian Merle Jr. rolls off 21st with Jay Stinson back in 22nd. Matt Allen and Sean Ryan will make up row number 12. Row 13 will be Charles Balance Sr. with Braxton Zog back in 26th. And then Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence will roll off in the final spot here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway. Of course, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Again, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch, we do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, don't forget to check out our great partners down below, including your series sponsor, Morris Customs, for all your iRacing paints. Check out Morris Customs on Facebook at Morris Customs. Also, don't forget to check out our web store at intensitybroadcasting.com. Help out the channel. Pick up a t-shirt or another novelty piece, as well as any of Atlee Atman Reese's racing gear as well. You can check all that out over at intensitybroadcasting.com. Of course, Race EPI for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. Visit raceepi.com. And as always, our great partner, Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is an established and well-known leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used around the world and endorsed by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Their patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is a new and improved gaming haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. So check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out what's right for you. Visit thebuttkicker.com. So here we go. Brian Canuti's going to lead the field down to the starting zone with Brett Merle to his outside. Then Matthew Fritz and Cody Moore back in row number 2. David Hartney, Devin Butchno back in row number 3. Pace Truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. And as the field makes their way to the start-finish line, green flag is in the air, and we are racing here at Nashville Superspeedway. Good job from Brian Canuti as he gets out in front of Brett Merle down into turn number 1 for the first time. And Cody Moore and Matthew Fritz battling for that third position as the field comes off turn number 2. Brett Merle got really loose there off of turn number 2, able to gather it up, and just behind you got some 3-wide racing as Jeffrey Belk, Joey Hickox were just 3-wide for a moment. And now the 29 just got really loose there on the low side trying to get around David Hartney. It's on Matthew Fritz there in the 29 machine. As the field starts to get a little more single file. See the 14 of Rick Tillman trying to work around Gannon Cyphers. He's going to take over that position as our first caution is out on the track, and it looks like it is for the 41 of Charles Balance Sr. That's going to bring up our first wreckage rewind of the night as we take a look to see what happened to the 41 machine. Oh, looks like it started a little bit further back than that. Actually started with Braxton Zog in the 57 getting down on the apron. Shoots up across the track into, that's the 127 of Matt Allen. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence able to avoid it. But Charles Balance Sr. got turned around in the process trying to avoid it. And that's what brings out our first caution here tonight on lap number 2. A couple people making up some positions already. Cody Moore up in the 2nd. Devin Butchno up in the 4th. Jeffrey Belk up 3 spots in the 5th. Dave Wright up 2 spots in the 8th. Joe Wright and Rick Tillman both up 2 spots. Ryan Gomes gained 3. Matt Scott gained 4. So a few drivers making some moves early here tonight. So a couple drivers down on pit road getting some damage repaired. Charles Balance Sr. off of pit road already. Matt Allen still on pit road trying to get as much of that damage fixed up as he can. Now he's down and rolling. As the field makes their way up to the start finish line, I believe the lights on the pace truck will be shutting off this time by. Of course, don't forget to tune in tomorrow night. The SCSRA Dev Sports Cars Next Gen Series takes on Phoenix International Raceway for their second race this season. You're not going to want to miss that one. So join us right back here tomorrow night at Liatman Weiss. We'll have the call for that one. Then next week, the Truck Series moves on to Pocono, one of my absolute favorite tracks, the Tricky Triangle. So it'll be 66 laps at Pocono next week, so you're not going to want to miss that. Tune in right back here on Intensity Broadcasting. Let's bring you a little unique view here of the restart as we ride on board here with Dave Wright. We can watch him here come up through the gears getting ready for this restart. I thought the pace truck was going to be peeling off that time by. Looks like we got one more lap to go before we go back green flag racing. So now this time we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to refire them. As this time the lights are definitely off on the pace truck. We'll still ride along here with Dave Wright back in the 10th position. We get a unique view coming up through the gears on this restart. Pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. Long wait to get back to the green flag. Tries to sneak it down into the bottom lane there as they come off of turn number 2. One driver up into the wall, saw a little bit of smoke there as Dave Wright has the 3 of Joe Hickox right behind him. Great battling up through the field as Devin Buccino. As Dave Hartney right there on the back bumper. Hartney almost runs into the back of Buccino. All around here. See, Hartney's just able to get into turn 1 so much better than Devin is. Devin's able to roll through turns 3 and 4 a little better than Hartney. While a little further back, Dave Wright trying to work down underneath the 14 of Rick Tillman. Not close enough to tucked down underneath. Meanwhile, this battle continues as Dave Hartney right there on the back bumper of Brian Butchno as one truck slow down on the bottom of the track. That is the 127 of Matt Allen. I believe he might have blown a motor or something because he is incredibly slow down on the bottom of the racetrack. Looks like he's just trying to roll that thing back to pit road. Meanwhile, back up front, Cody Moore and Brian Canuti going at it as Jeffrey Bell makes his way around the 11 of Brett Merle. And Matt Allen now jumps the pit road. Looks like he had to tow that race truck. And Braxton Zog making his way down onto pit road as well. Looks like he made some heavy contact with the outside wall. Coming down pit road to get some damage fixed. A little further back, you see a battle here between the 33 of Blaze Richardson and the 75 of Michael Dunn. Right behind him, we see the 9 of Riley Gomes, also here in the mix. And just in front, we see Joe Wright with Rick Tillman starting to run him down just a little bit. So racing all over this little 1 mile track. But I should expect to see within the next 10 or so laps, these drivers really starting to fan out, really spread out through the field. As Devin Butchno makes his way around Brett Merle. Now Dave Hartney going to try to look down to the inside of Brett and try to take over that 5th spot. He will. Yeah, there's Joe Wright. Almost got run over from behind. Been able to continue on. As the battle's heating up now between Matthew Scott and Gannon Cyphers. Scott. You see Dave Wright rolling into the picture as well. He's starting to gain on the 2 of Cyphers. Meanwhile, a little further up, we see Brett Merle still stuck up there on the high side. Just got passed by Matthew Fritz. And now Joey Hickox trying to get around the 11, and Joe Wright trying to do the same thing, trying to follow Hickox right on through. Battle for the lead heating up as Cody Moore now looking down underneath Brian Canuti. We're trying to slide job him here into turns 1 and 2. Jeffrey Bell trying to follow through as well. As the top 3 continue to battle it out for the top spot. Drivers struggling a little bit is the 13 of Brian Merle Jr. Currently runs back in the 22nd position right behind Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. Trying to move himself forward as there's a battle right in front of him between Blaze Richardson, our points leader, Riley Gomes. Cheeseburger now takes a look up to the high side. Trying to pinch Gomes down on the bottom, and here comes Brian Merle Jr. trying to follow Cheeseburger right on through. side-by-side action here between Joe Wright and Brett Merle. Right behind him, Rick Tillman. Brett's able to tuck down in line right in front of Joe. Now Joe's got Tillman looking down to the inside. Starting to notice just how difficult it's getting to be a pass here. As Dave Hartney all over the back bumper of Devin Bucciano. Bucciano trying to run down Brian Canuti to take over the third spot. So Canuti, who led the first 18 laps here tonight, now on a little bit of a backward slide. As Devin Bucciano trying to make his way around to take over that third spot. And at the same time, we see that is Rick Tillman trying to work around Brett Merle, and Merle's going to fall back another spot into the 10th spot. We did see one truck up into the wall earlier, one of the front runners. I don't think it was Merle, but see if we can see yeah, it might have been Merle. You see the scrapes there on the right side of that 11 machine, and I'll definitely slow down that truck. And we see Gannon Cyphers taking a look down underneath Brett Merle to take over that 10th position. So Cody Moore up front in control. Jeffrey Belk runs back in second. This battle, though, for third place between Brian Canuti, Devin Bucciano, and Dave Hartney continuing to go on. As now Canuti is looking back down underneath Jeffrey Belk, trying to retake the second position, and he will. Looks like Canuti might have found something in the last few laps to get some speed back in those tires. And here comes Bucciano taking a look down underneath the 54. Does Belk have some issues? Maybe he was up into the wall. But he's starting to slide backwards right now as his teammate, Dave Hartney, takes a look down underneath. Belk has Joey Hickox taking a look down to the inside. Looking at the right side of that truck of the 11, looks like it's pretty clean. So he could either be in a tire or fuel conservation mode right now. Well, we are quickly approaching the stage break. Stage break on lap number 40. Dave right now taking a look down underneath Brett Merle. Right behind the 77 of Brian Boyd, trying to follow him right through that Mission 22 machine. Oh, as Tillman gets up into the wall. That's going to allow Jay Stinson to take a look down to the inside of the 14, and right behind Stinson is the 35, Matthew Scott. Is Bryson Zolak has some issues. He's stopped down on the bottom of the racetrack, well off the racing line. Let's see if we can see what happened to the 57 here. So he just pulled down to the bottom of the racetrack. Maybe had some kind of issues with his monitor, or he's in VR or something, maybe a wheel issue, but no caution, we stay green. As we take you through the field, Cody Moore currently up at the point, started back in the 4th spot, worked his way back up to the front. He's currently led the last 10 laps. Brian Canuti sits back in the second position. Sat on the pole here tonight and led the first 18 laps. Fell back a little bit, starting to get some momentum back in his favor, moving himself back up to the front. Devin Buccino sits back in third, up 3 spots from where he started. Butch just looking for a solid run. Had a rough start last week at Daytona. Trying to rebound with a good finish here tonight. And back and forth, we see Dave Hartney, who's got the 3 of Joey Hickok's all over the back bumper. Hartney looks like he's going to lose this position as Hickok's is starting to show a little bit more speed. As Joey back in the 5th spot. Currently up 2 spots up into 5th. Continuing to try to work his way back up through the field. Then Jeffrey Bell up 2 spots into 6th. We saw him up as high as 2nd place. Now he's starting to make a little bit of a slide backwards. Could be wear out the tires, or it might be he's trying to save a little bit of fuel. Matthew Fritz in that 29 machine racing in the 4th spot currently. Lost 4 spots from where he started the race, but it looks like he's comfortably starting to get back in control of that truck and looking down underneath Jeffrey Bell, trying to take over that 6th spot. Then we'll roll back to veteran Joe Wright. Solidly in 8th, up 4 spots from where he started. He's having a very quiet day. Made some passes, and he's pulling away from 9th place Gannon Cyphers, which is almost 3 seconds behind Joe. Cyphers having a solid race here, but Brian Boyd starting to run down that 2 machine. Boyd in that Mission 22 machine currently runs back in the 10th spot, our final top 10 spot position. And up 4 spots from where he started, having himself a very solid race. Check in here with Dave Wright. Currently runs back in 11th. Dave running consistent laps, just trying to get himself back in a position. He might be able to make something happen here. Been trapped in some dirty air all race long. Trying to get himself back up into the top 10. And back in 12th, we see Jay Stinson. .31 machine, that is our biggest mover of the race. Currently up 10 spots from where he started, up into 12th. And back in 13th is the 9 of Riley Gomes, trying to work around the lap truck of Matt Allen. Then we go back 14th and 15th are the Murrow brothers, with Eddie Morris right there behind as well, as we see Morris back in 16th, taking a look down underneath Brett Murrow. This gaggle of cars continues to race hard for position. Jay Stinson now taking a look down underneath Dave Wright. And moves Stinson up into the 11th position. So that 31 truck making a tear through the field. See the field really, as I mentioned, starting to spread out a little bit as we're just a couple laps away from our stage break. Cody Moore dealing with some lap traffic. That's allowed Brian Canuti to catch right back up. It's within a half a second, and Canuti's pushing hard. Take a look at the lap history, and 2 out of the last 5 laps, Canuti's been a little bit quicker than Cody Moore in that lap as well. Almost a 10th lap quicker, as we are about 2 laps away from the stage break. And we all know it's one thing to catch a driver, it's another thing to get around him. Can Cody Moore hold off Brian Canuti for the stage win? few more laps of the stage. Pit road is currently closed. As the white flag is now in the air for the stage, Cody Moore trying to hold off Brian Canuti for the stage win here tonight. Down the backstretch they come. Off of turn number 4. And Cody Moore is going to get the win here in the stage. Brian Canuti going to come home second. Devin Butchno back in third. Dave Hartney in the 4th spot. Joey Hickox back in 5th. And Matthew Fritz in 6th. Joe Wright in 7th. Jeffrey Belk holds on to 8th. Brian Boyd in 9th. And Jay Stinson back in 10th. So you see your top 10 on the left side. And if you're new to SCSRA or not sure how the points work, it's just like NASCAR points. The winner of the stage will get 1 playoff point and 10 bonus points for the stage. Second place gets 9 bonus points. Third place gets 8th, on back to 10th. That gets 1 point. So there's your top 10 on the left side of the screen. As Cody Moore catches the pace truck. Well, that's our green flag pit stops, or I'm sorry, our yellow flag pit stops underway for the stage. I'll get a word in with Cody Moore. We'll see the entire field making their way down onto pit road. Charles Ballance Sr. will be the lucky dog here on this round of pit stops. Oh, Dave Hartney misses his pit stall. Had to back up. That's going to be costly. See who can win the race off of pit road. And it looks like it's going to be Brian Canuti getting the win off pit road. Cody Moore comes off of pit road second. Devin Butchno, Joey Hickox, Dave Hartney loses a couple positions back in the 5th. Jeffrey Belk, Matthew Fritz, Brian Boyd, Joe Wright, and Jay Stinson are your top 10 off of pit road. Let's see if we can get a word here with our stage winner, Cody Moore. Cody, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me? Hey, Cody, you got Josh?
You got me, buddy?
Oh, there you go. I had my microphone muted there. Sorry about that. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Man, great way to win the stage there, making a few positions up and having a great battle there, able to get right on Canuti, but it looked like he was starting to gain on you there in that last section of that stage. Were you worried that he might have had something there for you towards the end, or were you guys communicating a little bit in the chat?
No, I was taking it real easy. I mean, I think we both have pretty equal trucks, so it'll be interesting going on to the win here. But no, I was taking it real easy, not shifting. But probably shifting is going to be big here towards the later part of the runs.
That was going to be my next question to you. How does the strategy work out here? Some guys are shifting, some aren't. What's the grip level out there, and do you think your truck's going to be able to have the long run speed?
Yeah, I feel really good on the long run. It's going to be tight, if anything. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about getting loose out here. Yeah, I'm looking at the strategy right now and actually trying to figure that out. It'll be interesting to see if you want to go one stop or two. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
Well, good luck the rest of the way out. Congratulations on the stage win, and hopefully we'll talk to you again at the end.
Thanks, buddy.
Have a great night. That was your stage winner, Cody Moore. As the field comes around to take the one to go, we see the 127 of Matt Allen staying out in front of the leaders here. He's going to get the wave around here when the lights on the pace truck go off. The field gets the one to go before we go back. Green flag racing. So when they take the green flag, we'll have just 55 laps to go. As Cody Moore said, Brian Canuti and him have pretty even trucks here. So we'll see how that plays out here on this restart. And hey, for this restart, why don't we do a little thing I like to call pump up the intensity for this restart here. Here we go, pace truck getting ready to come off of turn 4 and dive down on the pit road. And we'll pump it up. One driver catching the grass going through John Deere country earlier. That was the 2 of Gant Cyphers. Looks like he's been able to gather it up. He did not catch a caution for that one. Jeffrey Belk now racing side by side with Joe Wright. Joe Wright looking down to the inside. Matthew Fritz right behind as well to try to move himself forward. Brian Boyd and Brian Merle Jr. behind as well, trying to follow Joe Wright right on through. A little further back, you see Brian Merle Jr. has Rick Tillman all over the back bumper, and right behind him, Jay Stinson. So Stinson was making his way through the field before the caution came out for the stage, and he's right back where he was, continuing to try to move himself forward as Brian Merle Jr. now up 11 spots into the 10th position. As Joe Wright now starting to slide backwards as the 29 of Matthew Fritz goes right on by. Brian Merle Jr. thought about making a move down to the inside of Brian Boyd, but Boyd's going to cover that spot and try to make a move here on Joe Wright. Meanwhile, a little further up, we see Dave Hartney, who's been up into the wall, as his DBC Racing teammate Jeffrey Bell trying to get around. Matthew Fritz right here in the mix. Let's go back a little bit, see what happened to the two of Ian Cyphers. Oh, just got loose there off of turn number 4 and able to get it down into the grass. Cuts it down through John Deere country. Able to keep it rolling. Now Dave Hartney has Joe Wright up to the high side. What a battle here. This is a battle for 5th through 10th. Eddie Morris is in this mix as well. Eddie back in 13th. So 5th through 14th, all right here under a blanket as we complete lap number 53 of 110, coming to the halfway point in just a few laps. We also have a battle for the lead as Cody Moore trying to battle with Brian Canuti here for the top spot. He'll come across the line, halfway point, 55 laps to go. Brian Canuti continuing to hold off Cody Moore. Back to this gaggle of cars, though. Drivers running high, drivers running low. Great racing this track is producing. We'll take a look here from the blimp, and you can see just how many different lines these 8 drivers are currently running. Eddie Morris pushing his way almost 3 wide there to get down underneath Tillman, down into turn number 1. Brian Merrill Jr. trying to work on the IDBC teammates as caution is out on the track. That's going to bring up our wreckage rewind as we try to figure out exactly what just happened here to bring out this caution. So it looks like a little incident here between Gomes and the 59 of Sean Ryan as Gomes came down on Ryan a little bit, sends him up into the outside wall. Tell you who that benefits the most is the 2 of Cyphers, as most of the field comes back down onto pit road. Brian Canuti going to win the race off pit road. Jay Stinson comes off of pit road in second. And it looks like Stinson took 2 tires only. A couple drivers taking 2 tires only. Dave Wright also only taking 2 tires on that stop. Devin Butchino, Joe Wright, Brian Merle Jr., Eddie Morris, Charles Bound Sr., all staying out on the racetrack. So we will see how this plays out. So, getting ready to go back at green flag racing in just a moment. Next time we pass by, the lights on the pace truck should be shutting off. As Jeffrey Bell peels off down on the pit road, looks like he's going to come down and top off on fuel. So, on the inside spot, we'll have Devin Butchino restarting in first, Joe Wright to his outside. Brian Merle Jr., Eddie Morris back in row number 2. Charles Balance Sr. and Brian Canuti back in row number 3. Canuti, we know, is on those fresher tires. Then we find Jay Stinson and Joey Hickox. Joey on 4 tires, Stinson on just 2. Then Dave Wright and Cody Moore. Again, Dave Wright just on 2 tires, so be interesting to see if there's any tire spin here on these trucks that took 2 tires, or these trucks that have been out for a few laps. Of course, these drivers do have 4 sets of tires on pit road, so most of the drivers have 2 sets left. As Devin Butchino leads the field down to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing. Joe Wright had a little bit of a connection issue there. That's slowed down Eddie Morris on his restart. See Brian Merle Jr. down on the low side, trying to look down underneath Junior. I'm sorry, Junior trying to look down underneath Joe. And Brian Canuti on those fresh tires going to force it 3 wide down into turn number 3. Canuti gets loose down, hits the apron, get loose, trying to gather it up. Oh, Cody Moore gets, Dave Wright gets turned as well. Caution out on the racetrack. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. And that was a big one. See at the bottom of your screen there, Brian Canuti a little off pace after getting loose. Cody Moore got a little loose there, came down into the 41 of Charles Balance Sr. And from there, it was on. We see Dave Wright getting turned around here as well. Blaze Richardson, our points leader, just barely able to sneak through. Brett Merle, though, not so lucky. Those two make some contact. We see Cody Moore still sideways, coming backwards across the track, and just not much that anybody could really do there. You can ride on board here actually with Dave Wright from the roof, and we can see it in real time just how quickly this happens. So I think a list of trucks not involved in that incident would be shorter. But we did see Charles Bound Sr., Cody Moore, Brett Merle, Dave Wright, Ryan Gomes. Jay Stitson caught up in that as well. Brett Merle. So we'll re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to do it all over again. Fortunately for most of these drivers, they did have resets. They were able to get back down on the pit road. Get brand new trucks to get rolling again. There's all the involved in the incident, the 52, the 41, 84, 11, 9, 31, 47, and 59. As the lights are off on the pace truck. Get ready to go back. Green flag racing. And more drivers just making their way down pit road, maybe topping off on fuel. We see Dave Wright in pit road getting some fuel. Jay Stitson, Riley Gomes all hitting pit road. They're going to have to hustle though because the field is making their way towards turn number 3. Although that extra gas in the tank could really benefit them here as the laps wind down. Looks like Dave Wright will be able to make his way back to the tail end of the field as the pace truck pulls off down on the pit road. Take a look at Dave Wright as we get ready to go back. Green flag racing, and there we go. Green flag back in the air. Devin Butchino and Joe Wright get a good jump there at the start. Dave Wright, though, right back in the mix here, trying to work his way back through the field. Ryan Earl Jr. trying to get right to the back bumper of Joe Wright. Joe Wright get a good run there off the corner. Here comes Brian Canuti on those fresh tires up on the outside. He's going to make his way around Brian Earl Jr. He's going to bring Joey Hickox with him as well. Now we're going to see how new tires can really help out here against these old tires. Now how Devin Butchno and Joe Wright here are just completely defenseless against these new tires. Joe valiantly fights back on the outside, but he's going to have to give up that position as Canuti now makes his way into the second position. Here comes Joey Hickox as well, looking down underneath Joe Wright for that third spot. Just behind that, we see Blaze Richardson trying to make a move on the 14 of Rick Tillman as your points leader, currently up into the 9th position. Trying to make his march through the field, and Cody Moore, who said earlier he had great long run speed, now trying to get his way back up to the front. Devin Butchino, though, has a mirror full of Brian Canuti. See that run that Canuti can get off the corner on those fresh tires. He's going to take a look down to the inside. This is a battle for the lead. Brian Canuti on fresher tires. Easily going to get around the 68 of Devin Butchino. They are coming up on the lap truck, though. That is the 75 of Michael Dunn out in front of our leaders as they continue to run too wide for the lead. Canuti out in front now. Rick Tillman again passed on the outside by Eddie Morris. He's going to fight back, get back around Morris to retake that 7th position. So takes a look back down to the inside into turn at number 3. That 14 with a little fresher tires. He will say out in front as he catches the wall there off of turn number 4. Just in front, Brian Boyd, Brian Merle Jr. battling side by side, door to door down into turn number 1. Who's making their way back into the picture, into the top 10. The 52 of Cody Moore as he works around Blaze Richardson up into 9th. And ooh, Junior got really loose there on the low side, able to hold on to it. Cody Moore goes 3 wide. He's going to gain a bunch of positions there. So he works all the way up into the 6th position. Meanwhile, Eddie Moore is still trying to battle with the 14 of Tillman. We've seen this all race long. Our leaders tend to spread out a little bit, but then right here in the middle of the pack from 6th to about 15th, all underneath a blanket. We're seeing exactly the same thing here at this part of the race. Karen Cyphers thought about making it 3 wide there for a second. Cuts it back down to 2 wide. And Devin Butchino peels off for pit road. So doesn't Eddie Morris and Joe Wright. So that's going to give the top 2 spots to Brian Canuti and Joey Hickox. So Hickox is right there on the back bumper, challenging for the lead. Battle heating up here between the 59 of Sean Ryan and Matthew Fritz. Further back in the field, we see a little battle here between Riley Gomes and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. Fritz looking back down to the inside of Sean Ryan. He is getting Cyphers right there on the back bumper as well. across the stripe. Next time by, we'll have just 30 laps to go. Cody Moore just got around Rick Tillman for the 4th position. Cody Moore really trying to get himself back up to the point after being involved in the last caution. While his teammate Brian Canuti trying to work around the lap truck of Mike Dunn without losing any time to the 3 of Joey Hickok's right there behind. Further, we can ride back along with David Wright. Sees one truck catch the wall right in front of him just a little bit. Trying to work on the back bumper of Ryan Gomes. In front of Gomes is the 11 of Brett Merle. A little contact there. Ooh. Contact between D. Wright and Brett Merle. Sorry, that wasn't Brett Merle, that was Matt Scott. Oh, big wreck in the back. Devin Bucciano is around. Caution is out. That's going to be another wreckage rewind. See the fresh tires trying to come through. Devin Bucciano up on the high side. Joe Wright in the middle. That's the 55 of of Gomes down on the bottom. And it looks like, man, that's just a tough break. It looked like Joe might have came down a little bit. Gomes came up a little bit, and Devin Bucciano got the short end of the stick there as he makes heavy contact with the outside wall, and he is the only driver to make contact with the wall in this incident. But that's going to bring everybody back down onto pit road to take their final set of tires. See Dave Wright staying out on the racetrack along with Cody Moore. Eddie Morris gets waved around the pace car. We'll watch for the race off of pit road. And Brian Canuti is going to win the race off pit road. Joey Hickok's in second. Brian Boyd third. The 29 of Matthew Fritz off fourth. Blaze Richardson off fifth. Dave Hartney, Jeff Belk, Ian Cyphers, Brett Merle, and Brian Merle Jr. all off of pit road as we see the rest of the field coming off of pit road now. And Cody Moore continues to hold on to the lead. Lights are still on the pace car. Let's bring in Dave Wright for a quick word, see what he's thinking right now, how the race is going to go here. Dave, you got Josh up in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Joshy, what's up, brother?
Man, a little gamble here right now. You're only one, you and Cody staying out here on these older tires. I know you're caught up in that earlier one. Got a fresh truck. How you think the rest of this race is going to play out?
Got caught up in both of them. I wish it would have went green there because I had enough to make it. I think Cody probably does too. Got another set sitting in the pits too, so I'm all right. We'll see what happens here. Tire wear's not that bad. I want to say it was 79% at the stage, so be all right. We'll see what happens here. A lot of lap cars got pinned there, so it's going to get interesting here, Joshy.
Yeah, a lot of drivers out on different strategies, so good luck the rest of the race, and maybe we'll talk to you here at the end.
Hope so.
Have a good one. So that was our in-race reporter and in-car driver, in-car camera, Dave Wright. So here we go. Lights on the pace truck are turning off. This time by Cody Moore is going to choose the inside. Going to put Dave Wright up on the high side. Brian Canuti, Joey Hickox back in row number 2. Both those drivers on fresh tires, and Brian Boyd and Matthew Fritz back in row number 3. Let me take a look-see here. It doesn't look like anybody took 2 tires on that stop. We did see 2 tires on the previous stop. It looks like everybody took 4 this time. So this could be really interesting here. 20 laps different in tire wear between Cody Moore and Brian Canuti. Now, granted, some of those laps are under yellow for Cody and D. Wright. So we'll see how the tires hold up here with just a handful of laps to go. Truck getting ready to make that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. As they get ready to go back through the gears. Green flag is in the air. We are back racing. Cody Moore with a good jump on Brian Canuti. D. Wright, though, trying to sneak down and throw a block here on Hickox to try to hold on to that 3rd position. Hickox, though, on those fresher tires, got a little loose there into the corner. That allows D. Wright to stay up in that 3rd position. Hickox now in the middle 3 wide, rubbing doors and Blaze Richardson. Brett Merle right there as well. Richardson's going to dive down to the bottom, trying to hold off Jeffrey Bell because they're almost 3 wide again down the front stretch. Hickox loses a bunch of positions, falls back into the 10th spot. Meanwhile, up in front, Brian Merle Jr. trying to make some moves, and a little further in front of that, Matthew Fritz, Dave Hartney, and Dave Wright, all 3 wide down the backstretch. D. Wright trying to hold on the high side. Oh, one around. That's good. Cyphers hard into the outside wall. Caution is back out on the racetrack. Saw Cyphers involved in that one. Rick Ward was caught up in that as well. Ooh, Joe Wright caught up in that. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. Looks like Cyphers got turned around by the 41 of Balance Senior. It looks like some tight racing as they were 3 wide. Cyphers hard into the outside wall. The 14 and Gomes get a little piece of it as well. Driver trying to stay down to the bottom of the track to avoid it. Eddie Morris. Oh, Morris got a little sideways there down on the bottom. And then what happened to Joe Wright here? We see him down on the bottom as cars were sliding down the racetrack, and I can see where Joe was a little upset with the that driver right there. And as the driver at 34, Rick Ward. So see Rick Tillman, Charles Bounce Sr. both on pit road getting damage fixed up. Rick Tillman also on pit road. Gannon Cyphers on pit road. It looks like Cyphers' day might be done. Right now, Wasted Wages teammates Brian Canuti and Cody Moore out in front. Then we'll find Brian Boyd back in the third spot. Dave Wright still holding on to that fourth spot with Matthew Fritz running back in fifth. So we still have 18 trucks on the lead lap. Our first driver 1 lap down is the 68 of Devin Butchino. Joe Wright also being shown 1 lap down. And the other Wasted Wages driver, the 35 of Matthew Scott, currently scored 1 lap down. Charles Balance Sr. Well, looks like he might have retired from the race along with Gannon Cypher. So the battle for the lucky dog is going to be between Devin Butchino, Joe Wright, and Matthew Scott if we get one more caution. Yes, Charles Balance Sr. has officially retired from the race. Matt Allen being scored 3 laps down. Michael Dunn being scored 18 laps down. And, of course, the 57 of Braxton Zog has retired from the race as well. So when we take the green flag, we'll have 11 laps to go. I'm sorry. 16 laps to go. Math is hard. With Brian Canuti going to take the outside lane. Cody Moore down on the inside. Then Brian Boyd and Dave Wright back in row number 2. Matthew Fritz and Brett Merle back in row number 3. Pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. As they approach the Geico restart zone, green flag is back in the air. And 15 laps to go to settle it here at Nashville Superspeedway. Brackett is going to cut down in front of teammate Cody Moore, retake over that top spot. Dave Wright loses the 3rd position to Brian Boyd, who's on fresher tires. And meanwhile, right behind Matthew Fritz and Brett Merle battling hard for the 5th position. Dave Wright on those older tires, kind of being a little bit of a rolling roadblock. We had 3 wide racing behind Hickox, Jeffrey Belk, and Dave Hartney. They get straightened out here as Hickox gets down to the low side right in front of Brian Merle Jr. And Brett Merle gets shot way up the track. Blaze Richardson being here at the end, your points leader, was in the back of the field most of the race, worked his way back up towards the front. Now 15 points, 15 spots ahead of where he started. Currently runs back in the 5th position. So Brian Boyd, part of Mission 22 Motorsports, has the 29 of Matthew Fritz, part of S&H Racing, right behind him. And then Blaze Richardson, another Mission 22 Motorsports truck, back in 5th. As Brian Boyd washes up the track, it's going to allow Matthew Fritz to move around and into the 3rd position. Now Fritz is going to try to work on Cody Moore here as we're coming to just 11 laps to go. Another gaggle of trucks here as we see Kevin Bichino trying to work his way through the field. In 3 wide back here in the middle. Eddie Morris in the middle. Gomes on the bottom. That's Riley Gomes on the bottom. Devin Bichino to the inside of Matt Scott, or outside Matt Scott, and Dave Wright to his outside. Hard battles being fought here in the closing laps. Jeffrey Belk working around Brett Merle. Brian Boyd trying to get back into position as we see the 29 of Matthew Fritz take a crossover here on Cody Moore, trying to take over that 2nd position. Matthew Fritz, the rookie driver, getting around Cody Moore. And here goes Brian Boyd into the 3rd position as Cody Moore now, gets some contact made. They're 3 wide behind, and Richardson, Belk, contact. Richardson's going around. Our points leader gets collected. Eddie Morris collected in that one as well. They're still wrecking behind. Caution back out on the racetrack. We see exactly what happened here in this most recent incident. We see Cody Moore throws a block down on Richardson. He gets pushed up into Jeffrey Belk. And then Belk bounces off the wall. Richardson goes down to the bottom of the track, trying to gain control of that machine. And then Jeffrey Belk just got a little high there, came down the track, got a little loose, came down the track into Richardson. Richardson gets turned around here right in front of the field. We see Hickox and Brian Merle Jr. get a piece of it right there. Dave Hartney able to slide on through. Matt Scott gets into the back of Gomes there, and Eddie Morris just nowheres to go. You see Dave Wright get turned behind the action here, and Mike Dunn get a piece of it as well. Well, Cody Moore coming down onto pit road, getting tires and fuel. Dave Hartney also coming down on pit road along with Jeffrey Belk. So the DBC drivers, Jeffrey Belk and Dave Hartney, are going to restart 10th and 11th. Cody Moore back in 12th. Blaze Richardson 13th. Brian Merle Jr. in 14th. And guess who's back on the lead lap? The 68 of Devin Bichino. Eddie Morris looks like he had a free truck in the garage, so he's back on track with a fresh truck. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence also with a clean truck here, coming off of pit road. Dave Wright, though, he did not have a reset left in there, but we know he did have a fresh pair of a set of tires as well, so see what D. Wright's able to do here. Rick Tillman and Matthew Scott and Joe Wright. So still quite a few drivers left here on the lead lap. Well, Well, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. This restart here is going to be wild. Your top 8 drivers were last on pit road on lap 86. Rick Ward was on pit road on lap 92. And then 10th on back just came down pit road to get fresh tires. So this restart is going to be wild. I'm sorry, just 19 trucks. Still 19 trucks on the lead lap out of the 27 that started the race. So pretty good action going on here tonight. When we take the green flag, we'll have just 5 laps to go. Got ready to go. 5 laps to go. Pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. Brian Canute is going to lead them back down to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. And a big jump for Brian Canute as Matthew Fritz and Brett Merle and Brian Boyd all battle it out for the 2nd position. There's a big gap back to Joey Hickox, who runs back in the 5th spot. So we're already going back 3 and 4 wide racing. 4 wide down into turn number 3. Jeffrey Bell, look at the run. And that 54 machine just got Cody Moore as well as they come off of turn number 4. Oh, Cody Moore and Jeffrey Belk make some contact. Moore spins down to the apron. Oh, they're wrecking still. Dave Hartney in the wall. Dave, oh my goodness. Caution. Devin Butchno involved as well. Caution back out on the racetrack. This was 2 separate incidents. It's going to start back here. Cody Moore, Jeffrey Belk. Belk gets a little loose off of turn 4. Almost comes down into Cody. Cody makes a reaction there to Belk. And then I think Cody just came up the track a little bit, caught the apron, pushed that truck up the track, got a little loose, ends up tank slapping it, trying to hold on to his truck. Gets loose and comes down the track. Meanwhile, Eddie Morris jams on the brakes to avoid Brian Merle Jr. Dave Hartney finishes him off. Morris goes hard into the outside wall. Dave Wright everybody piles in, not expecting this incident to happen. We see Matt Scott. Again, Cypher's up on the high lane. At this point, the track is just blocked. And it's a tough break for a lot of the drivers involved. Well, this is going to set ourselves up a green-white checker. Of course, I want to thank everybody who's tuned in tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. We do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Join us tomorrow night for the SCSRA Dev Sports Cards Next Gen Series as they take on Phoenix Raceway in the Next Gen Series. Atman Weiss will have the call for that one. Don't forget to check out our great partners down below, including our series sponsor for the Truck Series, Morris Customs. For all your iRacing paint needs, check out Morris Customs on Facebook. For all your iRacing coaching and setup needs, visit raceepi.com. Help support the channel by visiting our web store over at intensitybroadcasting.com, where you can find hats, t-shirts, novelty t-shirts, underwear. Yeah, we have boxers on there as well. And Atman Weiss's racing gear as well. So check all that out over at intensitybroadcasting.com. And of course, one of our best partners, the Butt Kicker. For all your gaming haptic needs, Butt Kicker is the leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Our products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC gamers, including professional sim racers. Patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus, that's the one I use, is the new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. And to check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out what's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. And I'll tell you what, if you don't know what a butt kicker is, if you're a sim racer, you got to have one. It'll let you feel what's going on in the car. I've got one hooked up on my office chair because I race in an office chair, sitting right on the back, and I can feel the engine revs when the gears shift. I can feel when the tires start to slide, every bump in the racetrack. It's really immersive and incredible, and if you're looking for that little edge, butt kicker is the way to do it, especially because you can feel the tires start to slip. And if you've got a rig, you can set them up with two of them, one in the front, one in the rear, or you can have four of them run, one for each corner of the race car, so you can feel each corner on your rig. So check it out down below at thebuttkicker.com. And not just do they have gaming stuff, you can also get the haptics for your home theater, so you can feel music and movies. So check it all out down below at thebuttkicker.com. Paul Voisberg says, "Let's go, Boyd." Kelly Taylor says, "Come on, Boyd." A lot of people cheering on the 77 of Brian Boyd here. Boyd's had himself a good run here, currently up in the 4th position, made up 10 spots from where he started the race. Currently trying to get his first SCSRA podium here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway. So Pace Truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. We're going to have ourselves an attempt here at a green-white checker. Brian Canuti up on the high side. He is the control truck as he leads him down to the Geico restart zone. Green flags back in the air. We are back racing. Watch out for that 54 machine, though, that white and blue machine. He is on fresh tires, and we know that he is awfully fast here on the restart as we see Brett Merle moving around the outside of the 29 of Matthew Fritz. They go side by side down into turn number 3. Here comes Jeffrey Belk down on the low side, looking to the inside of Brian Boyd. As they come off of turn number 4, white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Brett Merle gets around Brian Boyd. Matthew Fritz solidly up into the 2nd position, but we still have a lap to go. Brian Canuti having some connection issues, but he's far enough out in front where it's not really going to matter. As they come down the backstretch, Brett Merle trying to hold on to that final podium position. Brian Boyd down into turn number 3. Here comes Belk and Brian Merle Jr. off of turn number 4. Brian Canuti is going to get the win coming to the stripe. Brett Merle comes home in 3rd, Brian Boyd in 4th, and Jeffrey Belk brings it home in 5th. But man, what a run for Brian Canuti here tonight. Sat on the pole led a large chunk of the first stage, fell back a little bit, made his way back up to the front. We're going to have our top three sitting here up on the front stretch. Brian Kennedy burns it down here on the front stretch and celebrates his win here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway. Let's take a look at our final results. Brian Kennedy again gets the win here tonight. Matthew Fritz brings it home in second. Brett Merle back in third. Brian Boyd fourth, and Jeffrey Belk brings it home top five. Sixth place, Brian Merle Jr. Seventh place, Ryan Gomes. Riley Gomes brings it home eighth. Cody Moore and Rick Ward round out your top 10. Devin Butchno brings it home 11th. Joey Hickox back in 12th. Blaze Richardson 13th. Rick Tillman and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence your top 15. 16th was Joe Wright. Matt Allen brings it home in 17th. 18th was Gann Cyphers, Matt Scott, and Dave Wright, your top 20. Dave Hartney falls back to 21st. Sean Ryan back in 22nd. Eddie Morris 23rd. Jay Stinson 24th. Charles Balance Sr. 25th. Mike Dunn, Braxton Zog will round out the field here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway. Brian Duty still burning it down here on the front stretch. As we get ready to talk to our top three drivers here tonight, we'll get the our nice little camera here set up so we can interview our top three. Starting with your third place finisher, Brett Merle.
Surprise.
Brett, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you. How you doing?
Man, what an up and down race for you here tonight. Started near the front, started in second place, got caught up in a couple incidents early in the race. Worked your way back up through the field, finished at third place. Man, it's up and down race, but a good feeling to finish there on the podium. Talk about your race, though. What went on there towards the end?
Yeah, so we'll start with, when I knew when I started second place that I was going to be towards the back really quick. This is a tire saving track, and that is my biggest downside. I am no good at saving tires, so we got to the back just kind of like we thought we would, fell back there, and from there it was just try to stay with the pack. Felt like I was probably a 15th place truck, and then we got a caution with like 85 to go. I was on a bad strategy. I only had one set of tires left. I took right sides to gain about 3 or 4 spots, and then I don't even know what happened. Just got lucky from there. I really think I had probably a 15th place truck today.
Well, the two-tire strategy was something we saw a couple drivers work on tonight. Talk about the tire wear, though. It seemed like tires were really the premium here, and did those 2 tires really, were they that bad, or were they able to keep up there with the 4?
No, yeah, I don't think they were that bad. I don't know. To me, it felt like, your tires were gone in 5 laps, but at the same time, new tires, it's so hard to pass here. The outside lane is so bad. I felt like when I had fresh tires, I couldn't pass cars that easily who had old tires from the outside. It just bobbled a lot of cars up. I'm sure you guys saw that. So I do think the 2-tire call was the right one. I did slide through my box and cost myself probably 4 or 5 positions, but it all worked out in the end.
Well, a great run for you here tonight, bringing home the podium here tonight in that sweet-looking Columbia truck. Before we let you go, any shots you got to give here tonight? Any sponsors you want to read off?
Yeah, we got to start with the Columbia truck. Eddie Morris at Morris Customs ended up making that and making the matching Columbia car for the Next Gen series. And then I just want to thank everybody that came out to help. Obviously, you guys in the booth got to help. Thank Matt Bissett. He's our new race control. That's really big for me. I think having a full-time race controller is huge. I really appreciate him coming on board. And then just everybody that puts it on, Devin and Eddie, Hartney, Belk, everybody that's part of it, Nudie, and then my team. I think we've got a pretty young green team, and we're trying to work with improving them, and hopefully we can get one of them to get Rookie of the Year.
Awesome, man. Well, good luck the rest of the season out. A good run for you here tonight, and we look forward to seeing what you can do the rest of the season.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Have a great night.
You too.
So that was your third place finisher, Brian Merle. Let's bring in your second place finisher and only his second race in the SCSRA, Matthew Fritz. Matthew, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, what a run for you here tonight. Highest finishing rookie. That's always a good thing. But bringing the truck home on the podium in one piece, that's a huge accomplishment, especially with the racing we saw out there tonight. Talk about the racing, though. It seemed like, especially towards the end, it started to get really wild out there. What did you see out there from the inside the truck?
Oh yeah, it got really aggressive at the end, and I'm just a clean driver. I'm just a rookie. Don't want to wreck anybody. But yeah, it was good racing. It's not my favorite track. I'm not very good here, but I think it worked out for me.
We saw a lot of drivers using different strategies, pit strategies and tire strategies there. What was your strategy coming in, and did it change as the race went on? I know you were one of the drivers that pit on lap 85, so older tires, able to hold off those newer tires there at the end. Was that a concern of yours as well, those newer tires coming?
Yes, I was very concerned about the newer tires. So the cautions helped me keep them cool, and so they couldn't catch us. But yeah,
Well,
it was
go ahead.
it was yeah. It was a good race, and just happy to finish second for for my teammates. I'm sorry that they had a bad race, but it was good points for me, and just glad to be here.
Yeah, good point. I mean, a good race for the whole team. I saw Hickox and Stinson up there as well. So you guys are making a showing here tonight, and you came home on top on the podium. Before we let you go, though, Matt, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Thank Jay and Joey for bringing me on, and the Epilepsy Foundation on the top of the hood, and Manny Rays, and appreciate you all broadcasting.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate that as well, and made a great run again tonight, and good luck with the rest of the season forward.
Thank you.
Have a great night. That was your second place finisher, rookie Matthew Fritz. Let's bring in your second place finisher, your winner here tonight, Brian Canuti, getting the win here at Nashville Superspeedway. Canuti, man, what a run there. Got the pole, led a lot of laps there in the first stage, then he kind of just faded, fell off a little bit, and then he drove back there and gave Cody a run for his money. Talk about the run here tonight for you, because it seemed like even though you're up at the front, you seem to be a little up and down all race long.
Yeah, I was just trying to manage my tires best I could on basically just kind of who I was around. I'd kind of fire off quick to try to get like a little bit of breathing room to where I can back off, save my tires. And Cody wasn't having to do that, so he was able to run me kind of back down and then pass me in that first stage, and then kind of the same thing in the second stage. And then after that, that caution kind of came out, kind of ill-timed. And unfortunately it kind of caught Cody in like a weird situation. He got involved in like a wreck, and then he stayed on time. It was just the whole race was chaotic, but unfortunately for him, he got caught up in a whole bunch of mess just out there on older tires, trying to hang on. But fortunately for us, we were able to get the win, and I believe he won last week, right? So that would be what was that, 3 in a row for WWR.
Yeah, when the team shows up, it's amazing what they can do.
I know, right?
Talk about the tire wear, though. I know I mentioned the same thing to Matthew. I know Jeffrey Belk and Brian Merle Jr., Ryan Gomes, they were all out there on fresh tires on that last restart. I know it was only 2 to go, but did that have a concern in your mind, that last restart there with the fresh tires behind you?
No, I just felt like they were a little bit too far back, and the tires. They really you need a couple laps, about 2 or 3 laps before you really start to kind of notice a difference when the tires cool down. I mean, if there's only about a 10 lap difference, there's really not that much for those first 2 laps. After that, then there's a big difference. And I would have been worried if it was about 10 or more laps, but I knew just with the 2 laps, I had a good shot. As long as I got away good, I'd be all right.
Well, a great run for you here tonight, getting the win. And tomorrow night we do Phoenix in the Next Gen Series. How do you like your chances tomorrow night?
I actually, unfortunately, won't be there tomorrow night. My son has a baseball game, so yeah, I will miss that, which really sucks because that is one of my favorite tracks, just like Nashville is one of my favorite tracks. But I will be here next Tuesday.
I guess I'm going to have to use this for once.
There it is. Perfect.
Well, unfortunately, won't be there tomorrow night, but good luck next week. And we look forward to talking to you again soon. Oh, before we let you go, though, anyone you want to shout out? Anything you got to give?
Of course, as always, I got to thank my beautiful wife for letting me do this. I got to thank all my teammates. Tonight we had 2 of them show up, Cody Moore and our new teammate just got added this week, Matt Scott. Unfortunately, Colin still is not here. And then also just a shout out to the new guy on the podium this week. Who was it? Matthew Fritz. Awesome job. It's cool to see one of the rookies up there. Also, you up in the booth do an awesome job. Also, I got to thank all the other admins. Devin, Hartney, Sylvan, Eddie, all those guys up there. And then also got to give a shout out to my Morris Custom Paint Shops. He does an awesome job. If you want an awesome paint, go to Morris Customs, hit him up. He'll give you an awesome paint. I got tons just like this, just as beautiful as the one you're looking on screen. And as always, I got to thank Gill's Dump Truck Service and Pizzeria, the fastest dump trucks in the Northwest.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win, and look forward to seeing what you can do the rest of the season out.
Yep, thank you. Have a good one.
Have a great night. So that was your winner, Brian Canuti, getting it done here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway. I want to thank everybody again for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting for the SCSRA Morris Customs Truck Series. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcast. That's going to do it for me here tonight. My name's Josh Hall. This was Intensity Broadcasting on iRacing, and we do appreciate, again, you guys tuning in each and every night. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over and out.